right, so I want to go to the fact that there was almost a knockdown dragout. Sans Ravi in the group text over.
I feel like I kind of set the match, though, because Matty D said his inflammatory comment. He goes, hey, I think just to
you don't have to bus roll him.
Well, this is the context of the conversation. He goes, if there's a, I'll give him some credit. If there is a path, he said, if there is a path for Creighton to come out victorious tonight, it would be through their service game, right? That they would serve the ball really well like they were against UNI, right?
Yeah.
And so I was stunned because
I was mad.
I was stunned because obviously you all know way more about volleyball than I do, at least the like strategy and execution of it for sure. And I'm sitting there and I go, I was stunned. He thought there was a path to victory for Creighton.
It wasn't that.
That's
was
what
that
I
he
was stunned
skipped
by.
the steps. Jacob, it's your segment. I was glad that you got into the minutia about there's some incremental steps in terms of how you get to winning a match of this magnitude tonight.
Yeah, well, Matt actually called me up yesterday because he was bored, and we kind of talked to him more. So it wasn't so much like that he was like, this is how they win. It's more that I think he was just impressed with what he saw from Creighton from a serving standpoint this past weekend, and believing that if they can carry that over, then that is a way that they can make this game competitive, maybe more than people would expect, just based on the start Creighton's gotten off to. Because like if there are cracks in what Nebraska's shown so far, it's probably slow starts and the inconsistent passing. And it's not like they've been a terrible passing team, but they've been susceptible at times. And so that is probably like, you probably see Creighton really go for it from the service line tonight, because that is their best chance to really put some pressure on Nebraska.
I love how, the ticket demand, and I love Rob Anderson. And I remember a couple weeks ago when those tickets first dropped, and, he quote tweeted right when they were, like buy now, and everybody gets the season ticket holders. How much do you think home court actually matters in this one once that ball first flies tonight?
I mean, they're not really going to have home court, are they?
Well,
there's going to be more Nebraska fans in the building.
They did their best.
I get that, but
can I ride with Creighton for once?
You can't. I'm just saying, like, this is part of the reason I don't like it when they play this match at CHI. If you're Creighton, is you don't get a home court advantage.
All right, sans what my rude partner and your bestie just said.
I didn't mean to
Jacob.
Just
like,
derail
what are we
question.
talking about?
My bad.
Well, he is correct.
For once,
there's going to be a lot of red in there, but that's pretty much the case almost everywhere Nebraska goes these days. That's, yeah. I was curious, like, just looking at some of these road attendance records. It's impossible to know, but I'd really like to figure out, like, what's the breakdown of actual Nebraska fans traveling versus fans just wanting, like volleyball fans just wanting to see Nebraska and coming out for a match on a day when they're not necessarily season ticket holders or someone that goes to a ton. Because obviously, basically everywhere they go, they're pushing attendance records. But we've already seen, I mean, Creighton's played at PBA too, but Nebraska's first two matches were at PBA, and obviously massive crowd, mostly home fans there. And then they went down to Bridgestone Arena in Nashville and played I didn't even see what the attendance was there, but another big crowd for that one. So 3 of their 8 matches already have been in big arenas. So regardless of kind of the crowd makeup, I think they're already used to playing in the kind of setting that they'll have. Obviously 17 plus kind of ratchets it up just a little bit more. But I mean, 15 and change. So what's the difference between 15 and change and 17 and change? It's going to feel pretty similar.
Hey,
I mean, you're not wrong.
Young Jacob, as we're talking to our very own from Hurrdat Sports, I love to say that, Jacob Padilla. Hey, Jacob, how much does Creighton's success do you think has to do? I'll get away from the obvious with passing. The health and effectiveness and efficiency of Jay Johnson, to give Creighton another weapon to play with tonight?
That is the single biggest point of emphasis for Creighton right now is
Thank you.
they have to they have to find secondary hitting options.
Yeah.
It can't just be Ava and a hope and a prayer for anything else outside of maybe a good middle attack. We saw Kiara Reinhardt have a career day against Louisville, but again, they have to continue to get somebody at that second outside hitter spot. We've got obviously Abby Hayes and Destiny Dalton Simpson are kind of splitting time there, and both of them are struggling to be consistent. You've got Jaya hitting just under 200, which we know she's better than that, capable of better than that. So that's going to be the key, because you can't rely on. I mean, we saw it against Penn State. Like, Ava had as dominant a match as I've seen this year, and Creighton still got swept just because they couldn't quite keep up overall. So that's the number one thing. And I mean, against Nebraska, and it's not like Nebraska itself is still kind of figuring out trying to find some consistency with their secondary options, but it's they've got enough of them that every match you're probably going to get enough. Even if maybe Virginia Adriana wasn't having a great match, you'll probably get something from both middles, from maybe Toraya Sigler. She's starting to get a little bit more confidence and more effective.
Yeah, starting to play a little more too.
Yeah, or Taylor Landfair had a good one against Utah. So, like, they've got enough weapons that they're probably going to get something, even if it's not everybody every single match. Creighton's still trying to find a way to round out that offensive attack. And if you're one-dimensional against Nebraska, good luck.
Jacob, not for this match specifically, but as these two teams move forward and with their respective goals in mind, right, which I think are pretty different this particular year, is there are you more confident in Nebraska's ability to find that consistency you talked about there, or for Creighton's ability to figure out how to close out matches against quality opponents, or close out sets against quality opponents?
Yeah, definitely Nebraska, because I think they've already shown capable, like, and that's the thing that looks different so far this year about this team is even when they're struggling, every match they found a way to figure it out within that match. And like, you go back to the SMU match last year compared to the Kentucky match this year, SMU last year just their passing was in shambles and they crumbled. And SMU served them off the match and they couldn't find a way to recover. That Kentucky match, same thing was happening. And I mean, obviously it helped that Danny Bussum-Kelly made the changes she did, but Nebraska found a way to rally and reverse sweep a top 10 team. And so that's, I think you see the figuring things out within the match that'll continue throughout the season. You've got young players in important roles that you figure by the end of the season are going to be further along than they are now. I mean, we're seeing it from match to match with Toraya Sigler in the role that she's playing and what she's capable of doing. So the question about, I mean, a lot of times in late game situation, it comes down to talent and ability. And I think Creighton can certainly get better in that area. Like, they've shown they're talented enough to get those leads and to get to that point against top 10 teams, but they haven't been able to finish the job nearly enough this year to have a better than a 5-4 record. So that's going to be the next step for them. But the question is, are their players ready? I mean, we've got so many new players in roles after what they lost last year. Outside of Ava Martin, Jaya Johnson, Kiara Reinhardt, the only starters back really. And so you've got some new players kind of figuring out their roles and trying to adjust to the way they need to play and what they need to do for this team. So I definitely, I mean, I'll be really interested to see what Nebraska looks like at the end of the season, because I think maybe potentially some of the inconsistency is the lineup changes. And I think Danny Bussum-Kelly is willing to live with that early on in the season to reap the benefits of having everybody ready to play and the ability to go to different lineups based on matchups, on situations, and feel confident that if somebody's number is called, that she'll be able to perform. So she even mentioned it. Part of why she went with the complete rotation change and start sitting some of her All-Americans in that last match is because she doesn't anticipate as much rotation moving forward as they get into conference play. You got Creighton and Arizona to finish out non-conference, and then you go into the Big Ten. There probably aren't going to be as many nights where, yeah, all right, I'll just go ahead and send in my B team here, and we're going to get a sweep anyway.
Jacob, let me ask you something. At what point, if you're Creighton, do you feel like we have got to get one of these out of the non-con, given how the Big East schedule shapes up, right? You just mentioned the record. They scheduled a gauntlet. They're playing anybody that'll play them. Like, isn't it a little too early for a sense of urgency? But yet you have to kind of know it'd be nice to get one of these in the cushion folder.
Yeah, losing that USC match really hurt, and obviously,
without
they
JJ,
were shorthanded.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Brandy was out, JJ playing sick. Like that one really hurt because like there's no shame in losing to the teams that they've lost to. Outside, I mean, you're losing the top 10 teams like that. I mean, you look at the polls, like they lost to Louisville and didn't drop a bit, and we know some of their early like Texas picked up a couple of first place votes this week. I mean, Texas has the best resume in the sport right now. If you're just going strictly off who they beat and who they played so far. So like, there's no shame in the losses that Creighton's taken, but at a certain point, you can't only like, oh, that's not going to hurt us. You need something to help you because there's not going to be a ton of that in the Big East. So just in terms of you looking ahead to seeding wise, like, I still anticipate once Creighton gets into the Big East, like they'll get on a roll and they'll do well and they'll win the conference and they'll earn their way into the tournament. The question is seeding wise, and so obviously it isn't something they've done just yet. But you drop a match like USC where it's that Kansas and USC are probably all right. These are the teams that we're comparable to at this point at this stage, and they got the Kansas one obviously. But losing that USC one and, again, not being at full strength in order to take them on out there, that really hurts because that's one that, like, okay, this is one we can get regardless of how we do against these top 10 teams. So you lost that one, so you got to find a way to make that up if you're hoping to earn a good seed here moving forward. So, it's just unfortunate the way it played out, but they knew what they were getting themselves into. And the important thing is just long-term, you got to get something from these losses.
Young Jacob, let me get you out of here on this. On the heels of your Packers starting to establish dominance and Coach LaFleur doing his thing. I talk to you off air about DBK's personality all the time. I gave you the analogy, of losing Coach Frank, a Hall of Famer, and getting Coach Lamanji and personality traits. How important over the long haul? I'm enamored with DBK, right? I don't know. I love her from afar. How important do you think her understanding, her demeanor, how she approaches the day-to-day will be integral in terms of Nebraska achieving its goals a couple of months from now?
Oh, I think it's massive, and it's perfect for this team. And I mean, you have to be able to connect with your players to operate the way that she is. Where, I mean, Bergen Riley had started every match of her career, and Danny Busfamco just, we're going to give you the night off. Oh, actually go in and be a serving substitution for a rotation here, and be cool with that. Andy Jackson has played every match of her career that she's been healthy for. And we're gonna sit you down here and give the freshmen a chance to go out and play and be cool with that. I mean, you're not outside of that first week when only 3 Big Ten players are playing. Nebraska hasn't been racking in the weekly awards. And that's because of all the rotation and the balance. And they talked about it, the banner, not a name. And it seems like the players are echoing like one of your favorite things, the players are talking like the coaches, and everybody truly does seem all on board with this. Like, it doesn't matter how much I play this night. I know I'm going to get a chance to help this team. and I just got to step up and perform when that's the case. And I think a big part of that is Danny's personality and the way that she can connect with players, the way she communicates what they're doing and what the goal is. That's huge. And like you talked about, kind of a perfect coach coming in to build off of what was already here without like doing away with what got them to this point. Like they had such a fantastic foundation, learning from Cook for as long as they did, and playing at Nebraska. And he comes in here with, again, respect for what has already happened in the program, but confidence in the way that she wants to do things. And I think that could be the key to kind of getting them out of like off this plateau that they've been stuck on the last handful of years here.
That's our guy, Jacob Padilla, Hurrdat Sports. Jacob, appreciate the time. As always, enjoy the match tonight.
Yep, should be fun. Thanks, guys.